It's been a while. It's tour eclectic. I haven't done a submarine for the longest time, and we're in Cleveland and stopped at the USS Cod on Lake Erie. Very cool. They haven't done much to this submarine. It's one of the few that I've seen that I'll flip. You still have to enter through the actual escape trunk. They have not cut access holes into it. And you enter through forward, obviously, forward torpedo tubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like they have one that's actually open with a light inside of it. This is being recorded on my phone, so I'll be off and on quite frequently. Heading aft. We have the forward head, the electric gear. This is nice. They, for whatever reason, most of the museum ships have cut the swinging bars here, so you can't swing properly through the watertight doors, but the Cod has actually kept them intact, so I like that. Sounding gear. Here's the torpedo right here. Venting air from fuel tank. Be sure to first draw off fuel trapped in the vent line. Nice, nice watertight door. And through into the galley. Wardroom. Cod Electric Boat Company. Our typical Navy china. Our 4-star hotel, and you got to remember this was officer bunking, so this was for the important people, not us lowly enlisted people. We didn't have it that nice. More officer housing. Across from the wardroom. This is awful nice. This has to be the captain's quarter. And we'll flip across to the executive officers. We still had to share this little space with 2 other people, so there were 3 in here. Executive officer, probably the navigator and the weapons officer would be my guess. Nice picture of the Cod. That's taken forward, you can tell, because it's still got the gun base there. It looks like they've always had a 40 up there on the forward side. This is probably Chief's quarters. There's not enough room that this would all be officers' quarters. Our yeoman office, typing up war reports and such things. And back through another watertight door into another compartment.
the surface again. Basically, a submarine submerges by allowing seawater into ballast tanks outside the boat's pressure hull and creating a situation called negative buoyancy. Controlling the speed and amount of water coming into the tanks determines the speed of the dive. To surface, compressed air is blown into these tanks, driving out the seawater so that the boat will have the positive buoyancy needed to float. The levers that let in seawater for submerging are located port, or what we call the wet side. The valves that drive compressed air into the ballast tanks, forcing the water out and allowing us to surface, are on the starboard, or dry side. The Christmas tree, or indicator board, the black panel with red and green lights located forward on the port side bulkhead, clearly and quickly displays the status of all vents and hatches. A red light means the vent or hatch is still open. Green, that it is properly closed. A green board announcement from the crew member stationed at the Christmas tree means it is safe to submerge the boat. The large levers below the Christmas tree open ballast tank air vents, releasing the compressed air inside, which allows seawater to flood the tanks. The large brass wheels you see on the port side control the diving planes. Two sets of fins located on each end of the boat which regulate the steepness of Cod's dives and allow her to change depth while submerged. The bubble indicators located on the bulkhead between the brass wheels show the angle of the dive and allow the plane operator to match that angle with the diving officer's orders. My planesmen are so skilled that Cod can be at periscope depth in less than 40 seconds. You will also notice the red lights in the control room. These are used throughout the boat at night when we're surfaced, so that the island located.
This is actually very nice. They don't want you all the way up in the conning tower, but you can get halfway up, which is unlike all the other boats again. So I'm going to give them credit for that. I have to compliment them. There's our periscope. Remember, we have two. We have our observation periscope and then the attack periscope. Attack periscope is the thin one here.
Has two periscopes. One for initial or general observation that also has built-in radar.
Back here is
which is thinner with a smaller head, making it more difficult to see by enemy lookout.
I can't see what's behind me, but I'm sure there's a wheel back there. And there's our hatch up and out onto the top of the bridge coming down. So again, that was my favorite rack right there. Port side, inboard, aft. That's where I spent my time. And I like the bottom rack. A lot of other people like top. I was partial to the bottom. Okay, we're heading aft out of cruise berthing. We should have, well, that's obviously, we know what that is. And then we have, why is my white washing out? Probably because of this light. You just have to trust me on this. I had to flip to regular still photos back there because the white light was washing out what I wanted to show, which was the cruise head flipping around. Probably forward machinery room. It's nice. We have our skivvies hung up exactly where they would be hung. Because it gets hot back here. So if you wanted to dry your clothes and you didn't want to use the washing machine, or excuse me, the dryer, that's how you would do it. And to see me do another watertight door. Aft machinery room. And again, I know we're doing a lot of flipping because instead of the Pocket Osmo, I'm on the on my phone. This is the electrical room, so the the electrician, the ET, would be stationed right here. Oh, they gave him a bench. This is not something you see in most. In most, he would have to stand at this. But he's in charge of electricity throughout the boat. Picture of him doing his thing. So I'm gonna have to get the history of the cod because she's in really good shape. Not a whole lot of work done to her. Aft torpedo. And up the hatch. And we're out the aft torpedo. It's really cool that they don't have doors cut in this. You hear me breathing hard, that's why. It's the first time I've gone up and down a actual submarine hatch for a while. Flipping. We see the 5-inch deck gun. They've obviously gotten rid of the 4-inch dry gun and got a 5-inch wet. Not as cool a looking gun, but so much more practical. It's kind of cool they've kept the optics on it. The seat. We have elevation. Looks like it's still actually everything works. Yeah, look at there. Gun's going up. So we have elevation and depression, and then the other side will rotate it. Periscope shears. We have a 40 millimeter aft on the aft cigarette deck and 40 millimeter forward, which is cool. And it looks like they had the ability to put a forward deck gun on. So that's cool that they could put a forward deck gun on if they wanted it. They had the hard point for it, so the deck is reinforced there. They could do a forward deck gun. They also had a forward 40 millimeter. Have you ever wondered what's forward and what's aft? It's easiest because of that black spray shield up there covering the bridge and the torpedo computer. We'll walk all the way forward and then just all the way aft because the wife is waiting for us. She did not want to experience the cramped confines of the submarine, and I have to say it was probably not a bad decision. I'm gonna flip over to red frame marks bullet hole from a Japanese Tony. So air attack, they took a bullet right there. Back to me. We know the Tony was called codename Tony because it looked like an Italian aircraft. It was the one Japanese fighter that was liquid cooled. So it had a very unique look to it. It looked Italian, so their code name for it was Tony. Just thought that was funny. And leaving the cod, but we'll do a video sweep from the land side. There's our 5-inch deck gun. This is really cool, the Big Henry. It's odd. It's a torpedo handling dolly. So you carry 2 torpedoes and it had the crane. And then strapped on it, it has the Mark 14 torpedo. Big Henry, Hanson, Tiffin, Ohio, March 1st, 45. So a late war torpedo dolly. And with that, we're going to leave the going to hit the little gift store and leave the cod. Beautiful Gato class.